All right. Let's get into it.
Last time on Incredible Critics.
The Thin
No.
Red Line. It's
It's
not.
not an American war movie.
It's not. It's not a good war movie. It's just a boring.
It is
Boring
not one
film.
of those war
But
movies.
some guy was like,
Correct.
"I'm gonna shoot this with my camera. I got an idea. I'm not gonna die like
Wait, so what? Quick question. So you're saying that he's just who's a better director making films right now?
better than Chris." There's a lot of directors out there.
I'm asking.
I
you
would
to
need
name
time.
a
I would need
director.
time to come up with my top.
Okay.
No time. No time right now.
I will give you till next week to tell me
Top
a
five
director
directors.
Oh, no.
right now who's making better films than Christopher Nolan.
Okay.
There you go. You have your assignment for next
I
week.
have my assignment for next week.
We are the Incredible Critics. Incredible, not because we're great, but much like deciding to stay out all night to get some free Wild Wings, our credibility should seriously be questioned.
Are you speaking to somebody specifically, Ben, when you bring that up?
That voice is none other than Tim Gruber.
What up?
How's it going, Tim?
It's the very tired voice of Tim Gruber.
We'll get into that momentarily. Frankie maybe will be joining us to back up his claim that there are better directors out there right now than Christopher Nolan. We'll see. He's gonna try to join us via his phone, so he'll just drop in.
Oh, so we'll see what happens.
Right. So that also
We
could
can't promise anything.
that could also crash and burn, much like everything else that we do. Tim,
Yeah.
how has your week been going? And tell us about your recent adventures.
The week was good. My weekend was pretty good. On Sunday morning, I got up really early to go to church, as typical,
As most
Fashion.
pastors do.
Yeah. And then we were at church all day long. And
As
then
most pastors do.
well, because then we had an event. So I didn't get to rest at all. We just had an event. Yep, Brittany's on the podcast. Great. There you are, Brittany.
What up, Brittany?
Great. If you're watching on the video version,
Yes.
you saw Brittany trying to make fun of us.
We've started to just go live on Google Hangouts at 8 p.m. on Mondays. So feel free to watch live if
Check
you
that out.
or you can watch it later on YouTube. On the YouTubes.
Yeah, so we did this event. It was a volunteer appreciation night. It was really fun. It was a fiesta. It was a party. And so we called it a fiesta. And
Of
we
course.
ate tacos.
Naturally.
And so I get home, we're watching, some crazy football games happening. Single tear for how poorly the Vikings played. They played so bad.
Really
So
bad.
But and then the plan was that myself and our children's pastor, Nat Knoll, shout out Nat, he doesn't listen. That he he would come over here and we would he was gonna sleep in our guest room and we were gonna get up at 4 a.m. and go over there. Okay, go over to Buffalo.
Go over to Buffalo Wild
Wings.
Wings. Okay.
Because the new Buffalo Wild Wings Quakertown is opening up. Except I said, hey, why don't you drive by on your way here? Why don't you just swing over there and check it out? And he swung over there and there was people in tents already.
Oh my gosh.
So now I had prepared for something like this. Okay. We borrowed a blind from my father-in-law that was like a pop-up tent blind for hunting. And a propane heater. The little buddy. And so Nat swung back by over here. We loaded everything up, changed, and
Waited.
stayed the entire night
Oh my gosh.
from 9:30 until, I don't know, 10:30 outside.
That static that you hear is none other than Frankie Fusco dropping in on us.
Hey, how's it going? Is the static
He's
better now?
alive.
Yeah, you're all right.
I turned off I had the heater on.
Frankie, are you currently driving?
I am currently driving, but I have a headset on, so I'm good.
All right.
The camera's off, so it's hands free.
That's
Oh,
legal.
good. That's good. Yeah.
Just it's gonna be loud when I cough because I don't have a chance to hit the mute button anymore.
Well,
so.
don't cough.
Don't breathe.
So Tim, so
Yeah.
you got over there at 9:30.
Got over there at about 9:30 at night.
So you waited 14 and a half hours.
Yeah,
So they
so
opened
it
at
opened
noon?
it opened at 10.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
So
Opened at 10. Sorry.
yeah.
12 and a half hours.
I thought it was gonna open at 11, but it opened at 10. Yeah, it was crazy. So we were there, and we ended up we were probably like the 40th people there, but we ended up being in the first like 20 people that got in. And so I got, for all of our people who are just listening and not watching, I got one of these.
It's a book.
It's a coupon booklet. It says free wings for a year, and it's like every 6 days I can get
it's
wings.
It's kind of a ripoff. I mean, it was not a ripoff because it's free. So it's
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah, right.
But
I
then
mean,
because I work at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
At least used to, and it's just like we had one customer get like infuriated because we call it free wings for a year,
yeah,
but it's not. It's technically free wings every 6 days. So once a week you can come in and get free wings, and it's only
also,
a snack size.
Yeah, and also technically this doesn't go an entire year. It goes from the 22nd to the 19th.
Yeah.
So great. Where are my free wings for those last 3 days of next year?
So Tim,
Yeah.
was it worth it?
Yeah, I got free wings for a year.
Are you gonna go though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
But the new one's not far from your house.
It's
right?
so close to my house. It's
Yeah.
so close. So I'm definitely going to go.
See, my philosophy on this is like, I hate opening day of Rita's
Yeah.
because so Rita's opening day gives out free water ice. I tried to say that in my best Philly accent. It didn't really come across. I meant water ice.
Water ice.
Water ice. To everybody that comes in, and there's always like a line of like 50 people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? No thanks. I'll spend my $2 tomorrow and not have to wait in line. Thank you. Thank you though. So I don't know. That being said, I did also wait out all night for a Black Friday deal for a new TV when I was in college. So, you know, I spent $300 and you got free wings for a year.
Yeah, and it was above freezing. So there's that.
That's true.
But yeah, I'm so tired. And I still went to the day. I'm so tired. And I literally fell asleep right before we were recording this. And
so in other words, Tim brought his A game today.
Oh yeah.
Frankie, how's your week been?
My week has been it's been crazy. It's been kind of good, I guess. I don't know.
Look both ways before you turn.
Thank you. I will. Let me turn that off.
Oh yeah, don't forget to turn that off.
Yeah, I don't think anything crazy happened this weekend. Yeah, sorry, man. I wasn't prepared for that question.
You're fine.
Come in at the end of it.
Come on, Frankie.
Nothing really. I'm trying to think if I did anything this weekend. I did nothing. I did nothing important at all. There was football games, and that was about it. And then I went to go to the movies, and I didn't. I only have a couple of days left to make sure I use my movie pass this month in order to make sure I get my money's worth. So I got to do that. Got to get on that this week.
All right. Well, let's talk about that. We don't talk about sports ever, but football games.
Oh yeah.
Patriots beat Jacksonville, and Philly beat Minnesota.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think?
Oh, this is gonna upset a lot of people, but I cannot stand the Eagles, and it's not the Eagles that I can't stand.
Eagles
fans. I can't stand.
I hear you.
And this stems a little bit.
We're just gonna upset people. That's good.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so that's part of the reason why.
Wow.
But it's also because they're just so rude and mean. So there was video as soon as the day started of Vikings fans walking to the stadium, and there was just a whole bunch of Eagles fans throwing beer cans at them.
Right? It was
half
crazy.
full, half not full.
They did a lot of
real
dumb stuff.
Yeah, like it's just, and I have no tolerance for that. I just think they don't deserve good things. But that being said, the team themselves, I love football. They played like champions. They They deserved
They
the win.
showed
They played
up
really
for
well.
real.
They did an awesome game. They proved everybody wrong. So good for them. Good for the team. I really like their quarterback Carson Wentz, who's been out. Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, and Nick Foles. If I were Nick Foles, all I would post online every single day for the next 2 weeks is, "Don't call it a comeback. I never went anywhere except for to like the Rams for a little bit."
except for the Rams for a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be
I
good.
liked your idea about
Good
doing
hashtag.
a biopic. I think I would totally, as much as I dislike the Eagles, I'd totally be down to
Oh, yeah.
film that.
Yeah, so
he's-
Ben, give us a rundown. Who are you fan casting in your biopic that you're going to be shooting in about 15, 20 years?
So I jokingly said Miles Teller and Mark Wahlberg, and then that Mark Wahlberg was too expensive, so we'll take Donnie.
Listen, Mark Wahlberg would agree with you about that statement. He's always paying for Donnie anyway.
Right.
And Miles Teller's a great cast because he's a huge Eagles fan. He's from Downingtown.
Oh, I didn't even know
that's
that.
true.
Oh, you didn't know that? I thought that's
No.
why you picked him. Yeah, he's from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, so he's a giant Eagles fan.
No, I like Miles Teller more than most, so that's just why I picked him. And I figure, give him like 10 years, let him age a little bit, get a little more experience under his belt. So that was the Nick Foles biopic. But first, he's got to win the Super Bowl, which should be interesting.
Yeah.
I was actually rooting for the Eagles, because like my brother-in-law is an Eagles fan. And then I remember just how many people from Philly area, Philly natives, I follow on Facebook. And then I got super annoyed, and I remembered why I didn't like them and why I never rooted for them before. I thought I could escape it by moving to Baltimore, but that didn't happen. So,
Womp womp.
yeah.
And then the Patriots Jacksonville game. I mean, everyone, pretty much the whole country doesn't like the Patriots except for New England. And of course, they won because they're the greatest team of all time. So,
Regardless of whether or not you like them,
yeah.
Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they're the greatest. You can hate them, but you can't deny that they are the best. That's the sentiment shared by most. I don't know if we have anything to talk about, but we'll talk about what's on, and then we're going to discuss Frankie's bold claims of his favorite directors, and we'll tear that apart. But first, let's talk about what's on. Guys, what you been watching this week? Tim, why don't you take it away?
Star Trek all day, every day.
Catching up.
No, I actually, and I don't know, Frankie might reflect this. I got to watch a few mid-season premieres of some superhero shows.
Nice.
Yeah, Ben.
Nice.
Really nice.
So
So The Flash.
I'll be back in 45 minutes once you're done.
Yeah, right. Well, evidently Frankie will be back in about 45 minutes.
Right,
because
Frankie-
he disappeared. But
Maybe
no.
he'll be back.
Yeah, I'm sure Frankie will say the same thing because we talked about watching these. But The Flash came back, Arrow came back. There's Frankie. Arrow came back, Supergirl came back, and then they premiered a new show that I did not get to watch yet. That
Grease
I really want to
Lightning.
check it out. Black Lightning.
Oh, that's right.
Grease
That's
Lightning.
Black Lightning.
Go Black Lightning. No, okay.
Now there is a superhero show that I'd give a shot. A
Grease
musical called Grease Lightning, starring a John Travolta lookalike as a mid 50s. What was it? Thunderbird? Thunderbird? Was that the group? Whatever.
The
They were the
Thunderbirds
T-Birds, yes.
are
T-Birds. Yeah,
T-Birds.
I mean,
And he gets a magical comb that allows him to
Grease.
shoot things, grease things.
grease that
Greasing
hair.
things is his superpower. That's
Grease.
a show I'd watch.
he's a greaser, so it works.
All right. So,
but
what did you
Frankie,
think of all the mid-season premieres?
Yeah, well, I definitely enjoyed The Flash. Without giving anything away, The Flash was on trial, which was really fun. Not The Flash specifically, Barry Allen, his normal
Unpaid
ego.
parking tickets.
That's what it was. He he would park his car somewhere and then just run all over the city for days and forget where he parked.
I mean, why does
And,
he have a car?
Yeah, right. Who's to say? But that was pretty fun. And Arrow came back. There's a lot of division on Team Arrow right now, so it's going to be interesting for the back half of the season to see how it goes. And Frankie, how did you feel about Supergirl? Are you there?
He may not be.
I
there.
am.
Oh,
No,
here.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
I enjoyed all of the mid-season, whatever they're called, stars.
Premieres.
What do they? I missed it. But what do they call? Whatever they're called when the season start back up. I enjoyed all the premieres, the mid-season premieres. There you go. Flash has been impressing me all season long. Just like it always has. It's always like a comic book. It's a lot of fun. I know you don't watch Supergirl, but I love Supergirl. I still think the story is amazing. And the same thing for Arrow too. I'm always on and off again with Arrow, but so far this season's been holding my attention, and I've been liking it. So, and I won't talk about Black Lightning yet until you get to watch it.
Okay, good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
I mean, I've only heard good things from like anybody that I know, so it's good stuff. Ben, what have you been watching? What is on your screens?
Well, I was just texting a bunch because I just figured I would let you guys talk.
Cricket.
No, I haven't watched that much in the last week. I started watching Bright. Have either of you guys watched Bright on Netflix?
I did not.
I did. I liked it.
So it's getting a lot of
But
hate.
so here's the thing. It's getting a lot of hate from critics and political people and things like that. But the average viewer, a lot of the viewers love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's their most successful show.
Netflix audience, I'd say the movie.
Right, it's their most successful movie. I think they've already signed a sequel for it.
Yeah, they did.
No, that being said, it's funny. I watched it right after you. What did we talk about? What's it called when it's an obscure item in a movie?
MacGuffin. A MacGuffin.
Yeah, MacGuffin.
Oh,
It was right
yes.
after we had the big conversation about MacGuffins, and the whole movie bases around a magic wand that really means nothing.
Right.
It's just to kind of get the story going.
So for anybody that doesn't know, a MacGuffin in cinema is the thing that the characters care about a lot that the audience doesn't. So, you'll see that a lot of time. I mean, yeah, not harping on superhero movies, but a lot of times superhero movies will have, the MacGuffins, like the Infinity Stones. Is that the Marvel
that'll
one?
be the MacGuffin. That's been the ongoing MacGuffin that will be played out this summer in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, see, I'm sorry.
And Ben can't wait.
That was on me. I did that. So that's the MacGuffin. So all of the superheroes care about it. All the villains care about it. But the audience, it doesn't mean all that much to us. So yeah, so here's my feeling on Bright. I started watching it. I didn't finish. I don't know if I'll finish. I won't go so far as to say that it's bad. I'll just say it's really close to being good, but I don't know if it is.
And you know what though? That's a fair analysis, and I could see you saying that. I wouldn't think it's a movie that you would really, that you would say is the best movie of all time or something that you would love. I thought it was, from an entertainment standpoint, I was very entertained watching the movie. Do I think it deserves a sequel? No. I think a sequel is just going to be horrible. I can't see a good sequel coming from this movie.
My main issue with it is I feel like they should have taken one of the analogies and just really pursued that, but instead they tried to take all of that type of science fiction. Let's take all of the concepts from Lord of the Rings and just put it in normal time.
Stuff it in LA.
Yeah, it felt weird. I feel like there should have been snippets of those things rather than so heavy into the sci-fi. But I mean, a lot of people like it, so I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily think it's bad. I wanted it to be good way more than it is.
Yeah, that's fair. And to be honest, Will Smith, same thing with Suicide Squad. Will Smith carries the movie. His charm and wit is kind of what makes you love the movie as much as you do. So,
And that's pretty much it. I finished Dark, which had a pretty, a decent ending for the first season. So we'll see where that goes. They signed on for a second season, but that's pretty much been it. I haven't had a lot of time to watch stuff.
Let me know when the American version of that comes out, and I'll totally watch it. It'll probably be at CW.
I mean, it's dubbed. It's not too bad.
No, I watched like the first episode, and I couldn't do it. The dub was killing me.
I can understand.
I think I'd almost rather it be in a foreign language and just read the subtitles.
I actually would as well, but it is what it is. So next we wanted to, let's talk. Frankie, do you have your list of directors that you wanted to talk about? Uh-oh, is he gone?
Oh,
No,
Frankie
I'm
conveniently
here.
cut out.
No, I'm
just
here.
kidding.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have your list? Because we
can talk about it. Let's preface it, because there's a couple different lists here that we had going on, that we had some behind the scenes back and forth banter, I would say, between me and Ben. So what he said in the podcast last week was, who do you think is a better director than Christopher Nolan? Give me somebody. Which made me think he was saying that Christopher Nolan is his well, first off, and his actions, the way he talks about it all the time, about how much he loves, this Christopher Nolan movie, and that he thinks Christopher Nolan is the best director. I disagree. I do not think Christopher Nolan is the best director. I don't have a best director list. That's why I couldn't say it last night off the top of my head. I wanted to think about it and go ahead, because there's a difference between who I think is a better director and who I like better as a director. That being said, I think, I love Kevin Smith, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he's a better director than Christopher Nolan.
Sure, he's making very different films.
In fact, he's not. Christopher Nolan is a better director than Kevin Smith, but Kevin Smith, I very much enjoy Kevin Smith, and I think he's a great director. So there's a difference between
just
best
to be
and favorite.
Just to be clear, what I said is who's making better films right now.
Right, who's making better films right now than Christopher Nolan. Not that you think he's your favorite all-time director, which I still think he's your favorite all-time director. I think you have a little fanboy bias, and I think you definitely have a Christopher Nolan hair at all.
Tim's just looking back and forth because he's like the child stuck in a bitter divorce on this debate. He's been on like all of our text threads as they got increasingly heated.
I was like, well, I just missed 17 more messages.
Because meanwhile, Frankie keeps saying that I'm biased without providing any proof, and that annoys me. So
all you do is talk about him. I just feel like it's constantly Christopher Nolan this, Christopher Nolan that.
I don't know, Frankie. It sounds like you have a man crush on Kevin Smith. I mean, that's like all you can talk about today.
I mentioned him. This is the first time ever.
I don't know if you like comedies or if you hate them, but I love comedies, and that's why I feel like you might like Kevin Smith more, because he's making non-traditional comedies, and I'm a fan of comedies, and
I am too.
Dude, I'm totally giving you crap. You're taking it seriously.
Well, I'm serious though. I like more comedic directors than I think other ones, and that's why there's a difference between better and best. Same thing being said. Judd Apatow, I love Judd Apatow. He'd be my top 5 favorite directors. He's definitely not a better director than Christopher Nolan. Better than Christopher Nolan, though, we can get into that. Right off, I'm not going to put him in any specific order.
Sure.
But Josh Whedon, Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino. Who else did I have? Martin Scorsese.
I think you have to be able to pronounce his name.
Okay, Josh Whedon.
Josh Whedon.
How did you enjoy his last Avengers film that was critically acclaimed?
Wait, what? I can't hear you. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. You go through your list. Go through your list, Frankie. Sorry.
That was it.
We're now tuning in live to our Word on the Street with Frankie Busco.
I hate you guys. It's not my fault. I have no service where I'm driving. Anyway, that was my list. I hope it all registered. I think there was like 5.
It did. So what I would say to that is, all right, Quentin Tarantino, I can understand that pick. Quentin Tarantino is always, I want to like his movies
And-
so much more than I actually do.
Exactly
That's
how I
true.
feel.
That's true.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I'm not a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, but I think he's a better director, and his movies, you know, have a huge following and people love them, and I think
They
they're
do.
very well directed and they're very well made, and I think he's a great director. He's just not in my particular taste.
So, in what I said about Christopher Nolan is that so we talked when we talked about Annihilation, that there's this awkward balance of needing to make a movie that is commercially viable, like the Transformers films. Like, say whatever you want about Michael Bay, he makes studios money. He just prints cash for them, and then making things that are, interesting and intriguing filmmaking that think outside of the box. To me, Terrence Malick is really along that side, where it's not accessible to a large audience, but is really unique experience in film. And what I said was that Christopher Nolan is the best at coming to the center of that and being an equilibrium between those two things, of making a movie that's commercially viable but also has really intriguing filmmaking aspects to it. So
but you can argue, I would say, as much as I would hate to admit this because I don't want to put his name out there because I can't stand the guy, but if you're going from that aspect, I think it's a different list too, and I would think that James Cameron would be better than Christopher Nolan at that. Or what about Ron Howard, who is absolutely amazing?
They're both more commercially viable than I think actually interesting film.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Here's what I'll say about Avatar: is like it's the biggest film that everybody's forgotten.
Right.
Not James Cameron. It's the best film of all time.
It's only not James Cameron for the last when he's been trying to make sequels to this movie since the movie came out. Yeah. And it was, I mean, commercially unbelievable success. It was all the like everybody saw that movie. But if I go and ask random
that movie was also 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, but if I ask random cross sections of people, like, what was Avatar? What was it? What did you like about it? And they'll be like, oh, it was really bright, cool things. And blah. Okay, what happened? What was the plot about?
Yeah, nobody remembers.
Everyone should know the plot.
Blue people.
Well, yeah, but blue people.
It's Dances with Wolves. It's but I mean, I don't know. I think at the time you have to look at when he, and he's a weird person to say, but he's still coming out with new movies, so I'd still consider him in that list. At the time when Avatar came out, everyone loved it. Critics loved it, people loved it. I mean, what about Rian Johnson? Like, would you say the new Star Wars fits that?
Yeah, no, for sure.
That critique.
Absolutely. So, yeah, no, all of Rian Johnson's film, more so his recent ones with Looper and then this, but even the Brothers Bloom, that's a little more artsy, and Brick was definitely more film school type film. No, so my list that I would say top 5 in I want to put
once again, going back to what you said last week, right now the list should be the better director than. That's what you said last week. I understand a couple weeks ago that's what you were talking about, but when you were talking to me, I assumed you just meant better director than Christopher Nolan, and that's why I was arguing with you. Because I thought you were saying Christopher Nolan is the best director ever. And I was like,
right.
Not ever, but still working.
Sure. Which I would say
Hitchcock is the best ever.
I mean, that's fair. You can't argue with that. So what I would say Christopher Nolan would be in my top 5. But of people making films right now, so I think about it like, okay, who's making films that I'd be more excited to see than Christopher Nolan? Like, that's kind of one aspect that I'm thinking of with this. So top 5 in no particular order would be Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
Terrence Malick. Shane Carruth, I think is his last name. He did Primer and Upstream Color, which were two, like, in super indie, low budget films that I think were phenomenal.
Sci-fi.
Both sci-fi, yes.
Yeah.
And he's not making enough films, in my opinion. And then the last one would be Alfonso Cuarón. Same thing with him. He's not making enough films as I would like, because his filmmaking is just gold to me. He's director of Children of Men, most recently Gravity, but he kind of does like one film every 4 to 5 years. So that would kind of be my list. Rian Johnson, I really want to have on the list, but he's just not quite there yet for me.
I just got a chance to actually look at my list. I forgot, and I just forgot him again, which is really irritating. Ridley Scott was my other one that I think is a better director than.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that, but he's had more misses lately than hits.
That's fair.
So
that's probably why I forgot about him. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, more of his recent movies are forgettable. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not disagreeing with your list, but I still think that Christopher Nolan is the best at those two things, which is why his movies have so much success, and it's also why his movies he hasn't won Best Director, because his movies are
better directors. Oh, no, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Says the person who hates the Academy. No, because there are films and directors that are making more Academy-driven films as opposed to the kind of combination that I'm talking about, with it being like focused on being commercially viable as well. So I'm hoping he'll definitely get a nod. I don't think he has enough to win this year with Dunkirk, but we shall see.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll give it to him. He's never made a movie yet that talks about how hard it is to be an actor in Hollywood. So
that'll be his next one. So lastly, real quick, what I want to talk about, I know we're coming up on we try to end right around a half hour, but real quick, I want to talk about a little teaser trailer.
Yo, where them kangaroos at?
Brian Dundee?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Why do you keep saying really?
So that is the teaser, the second teaser trailer for Dundee the movie. Supposedly a trailer or a sequel to Crocodile Dundee, starring the son, called Dundee, the Son of a Legend Returns Home. So this, I didn't even realize, I literally just saw this right before the show started, and there's some skepticism over whether or not this movie is actually real.
Yeah.
When I clicked the link, I was so ready to absolutely hate this. But then I saw Danny McBride and Chris Hemsworth, and I'm not gonna lie, that's a movie I'd give it a shot.
That's like an Australian buddy comedy that I would enjoy. But yeah, I don't know if it's real. I mean, so the weird thing to me is that nobody knew this existed until the teaser came out last week. And the first teaser is just like this huge, like wide cinematic sweeping shot of like some Australian outback somewhere. And there's Danny McBride standing there, and you don't really know who it is. And then it kind of gets a close up on him, and he's like, "G'day, losers," or whatever. I don't know what he says. So supposedly, he's an unknown son of Mick Dundee from the original Crocodile Dundee films. And he has to save his father who got lost in the outback.
Maybe he's kind of an idiot.
but he's a complete idiot and an American idiot. So
I don't know, man.
Thanks, cinema.
I'd give this a shot.
I'd give it a shot too, but do you think it's real?
I hope
sure.
it's real.
So like one real quick, and then Frankie, you can talk about what you're thinking. But a theory that I've heard is that this is actually just a bunch of teasers leading up to the Super Bowl, maybe for some like Super Bowl commercials that are for like traveling to Australia, like a tourist, like a funny tourist commercials.
I mean, if that's the case, that is some brilliant marketing, and whatever firm they got to do that, deserves to get paid more.
What do you think,
Frankie? Did you have a chance to check this out?
I did. I haven't heard that theory, but that is a really good theory, and that would be kind of genius. They probably would get paid more, but they had to give all that money to actually advertise during the Super Bowl. I don't know. I kind of hope it's real. I thought maybe that it was just kind of, like a joke teaser trailer, but then it's going to have such a big, hit that they'll actually make it into a movie. Because in all honesty, all those Danny McBride movies and TV shows, like, they don't cost much to make. So the overhead is really low. So the fact that they could easily do like a trailer like this and kind of as a joke, half seeing how it would go. And then if people like it, go ahead and make the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if this gets made or not. Like I said, I really wanted to hate it, but I just didn't. So anyway, let us know if you agree with kind of what our thoughts on the best directors are out right now. Next week, we'll be talking about the Academy Award nominations and everything like that. But feel free to connect with us. You can follow us on Twitter at 3criticspod, or connect with us on Facebook, facebook.com/incrediblecritic. Until next week.